camera, it needs to be adjusted. Might need to be turned a little bit more towards the stage and the top of the camera.
Yeah.
But just lose it, please. Okay. That's more. Hallelujah. All praises be to Father Abraham and Jacob for his mercy to endure forever. Wednesday Wisdom, Minister Shalom. We're going to go on the topic for this Wednesday, which is who should I marry according to wisdom. Got the whiteboard up here. Might have to write some things down. So we got it set up. As always, we start out Wednesday Wisdom with prayer with Psalms 67. We're thankful for Wednesday Wisdom. It's a chance to review topics and issues that we all face with, on a daily. So we're gonna, tackle this topic today. This topic is more so for, our unmarried population. But we're gonna, we're gonna see what the Most High got to say according to Scripture. So we're gonna blow the shofar, we're gonna face Jerusalem, and wait for everybody to log on and log back in. We had some technical difficulties, so we were logged on and we logged off, but we should be okay now, and we should be ready, as the people logging in. So we're going to blow the shofar, face Jerusalem, ask the Most High to bless this evening of learning and understanding, and we'll continue the Scripture. Amadum Wapanya Jerusalem stand and face Jerusalem. Psalms 67.
The book of Psalms, chapter 67. Yahweh, be merciful unto us, and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us, Salah, that thy way may be known upon earth, thy saving health among all nations. Let the people praise thee, O Yahweh. Let all the people praise thee. O let the nations be glad and sing for joy. For thou shalt judge the people righteously, and govern the nations upon the earth. Salah. Let the people praise thee, O Yahweh. Let all the people praise thee. Then shall the earth yield her increase, and the power, even our own power, Yahweh, shall bless us. Yahweh shall bless us, and all the ends of the earth shall fear him. Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai, the water, the yad, man.
All right, you shall be seated. All right, again, this is Wednesday Wisdom, Minister Shalom, in light of Zion. What we're going to go into this evening is, the topic is, who should I marry? This topic was made and put together, for the service of the unmarried population of Yasharala. All right, the brothers and sisters that are not married, that are not in wedlock. Okay, that's what this topic is for. That's who this topic is concerning. It is not concerning those that are married. If you're married, you feel free to view the topic, right? But save the comments and the questions for those that are unmarried, okay? Because that's who this class is for, okay? Because we have to address this within the nation. Because what is a nation but a group of families, right? Without the family, there's no nation, right? Without the husband and wife, there's no family, all right? So we address the marriage issues, we can address the family issue, that again will bring the nation together. If we can bring the marriages together, we can bring the families together, which is going to bring the strength of the nation. Because that's what the Most High told us to do. He told us to gather ourselves together. So we got to look into the scriptures and get wisdom, guidance, and understanding. Also, there was a question that was brought to me about tribal marriage, intertribal marriage. Should you marry your own tribe? Shouldn't you? You know, things of that sort. How does the Most High look at these things? So we're gonna look at all that tonight as we go into Scripture. So of course we always start with Colossians 3 verse 17, giving all praise to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. Colossians 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all. For Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Elohim and Abanawa by him. For Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua, the Wadathinya Aman.
Right, so giving all thanks to the Most High in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. You know, with all guidance, all wisdom. Because all wisdom coming from Yahweh. That's why we have to go into the scriptures to see and to get the instruction from the Most High God. Okay? There's no other place to go. Right? You know, a lot of times people have a lot of advice when it comes to relationships and things of that sort. But have you looked into the scriptures to get your guidance? All right? Give me Ephesians 5 and verse 21. Ephesians 5 verse 21.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 21. Ephesians 5 and verse 21. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear
in the fear
of the Most High.
Right, in the fear of the Most High. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of the Most High. What is he talking about in Ephesians? He's talking about marriage. Right? That man and woman have to submit themselves one to another in the fear of the Most High. That means the relationship has to be based on how Yahweh has told us to come together, not how we want to come together. Right? It's not based off of how we feel, but when you decide to be a husband to a woman, or you decide to be a wife to a man, you have to come to that person how the Most High wants you to come to that person. Okay? Not as you've been, you know, people have their traditions, you know, what they see on TV, what they see in you know, social media, things of that sort, and they get the wrong ideas on how we come together, how we form the marriage. All right? So we're going to get instruction. All right? Read that again.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 21. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of the Most High.
Come on.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands.
Right.
As unto the Lord.
As unto what?
As unto the Lord.
Right. So the first instruction that came was the wives are to submit unto their husband like unto the Lord. So how do we serve the Lord? Right? How does the Lord want us to serve him? Okay. Let's look at it. You know what I mean? We're not going to guess anything. We want to see what scripture said. Give me Mark 12 verse 29.
The book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 29. The book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 29. And Yahushua answered him, the first of all commandments is, hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our power, Yahweh is one.
You know?
And thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart,
right,
and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength.
All thy heart, soul, mind, and strength. This is how the Most High requires us to love him. Right? And the scriptures just told us that the woman is to submit themselves unto their own husband as unto the Lord. Right? So with all her heart, soul, mind, and strength, does she commit herself onto her husband. Right? Now for a lot of women, they go, oh no. You know, because they think that they don't want to give too much. Because a lot of times they have defenses. right? They put up defenses saying, "Oh, if I do that, then oh, he might use me, right? He might abuse me." Okay, but the understanding is, if you're willing to do this, then the Most High, is going to direct you to the type of man that won't use and abuse you. Why? Because he told us something. Give me Sirach, the 26th chapter. Yes, come.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 3.
Come on.
You have the Red Apocrypha, it's page 86.
Mm-hmm.
A good wife is a good portion,
Right?
which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Most High.
Come on.
Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart toward the Most High, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
Right. So a good wife is given to the faithful and just. So if you're set out to be a good wife, then the Most High is going to bring you to the faithful and just. If you just set out to be a wife, not necessarily good, but just get what you want, right? Then you might end up with who knows who, right? Who knows what, right? Because you didn't set out to be the number one wife, the wife that the Most High wants you to be. That wasn't what's on your mind. What's on your mind is, I like him, he looks good, he got this, he got that, he can provide, he can do these things. The Most High was not in the equation. Okay. That's what we got to teach the unmarried. Now, for the unmarried, you have to put the Most High in the equation. When you set out to be a wife, you set out to be a wife in the sight of the Most High God. You want to be the type of wife that the Most High wants you to be. Therefore, he will bless you with a man that you can be that type of wife too. Okay. Sometimes, like the priest always says, we put the cart before the horse, right? And oftentimes in Israel, we tend to do that. We want things our way, and then the Most High bless it, instead of doing it the blessed way from the beginning. All right, the way the Most High told us to do it. Right. But right now we're talking about the woman parts, and we're going to deal with the men in a moment. All right. But right now we're dealing with the woman, and then we're going to transfer to the man. All right. So stay in the same chapter. Right. Talking about that righteous wife, go jump down to the 13th verse.
Sirach 26, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones.
Come on.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High.
Right.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
A mind well instructed. Okay. A mind well instructed. So, for our young daughters, even our older sisters and that's in the nation, you got to get your mind instructed in Scripture. Right? You have to build up your spiritual self. You got to know these laws, statutes, commandments for yourself. You can't just sit back and say, well, my husband, he'll tell me, and I don't need to know nothing, right? Because your mind has to be well instructed, right? A lot of times, this time that you're single, so-called single, I don't like to use the word single, I say unmarried, right? Or not married, right? Because single has a whole different connotation in this kingdom, right? People say they single, but they sleeping with this man, that man, they got this friend and that friend, but they claiming to be single. You're not single, okay? We're going about married, all right? Because, we're not going to sugarcoat whoremongering, because we know the Most High tells us that's not going to happen. That's not going to be acceptable in the sight of the Most High God, right? So to the unmarried, right, you have to decide that, I got to be built up in these scriptures. Because when I do get a righteous husband, I need to be able to what? Communicate with him, right? The scriptures talk about this. Get Sirach, the 7th chapter. (26). 7:26.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 7 and verse 26.
Come on.
We have the Red Apocrypha, page 74.
Uh-huh.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Has thou what?
A wife after thy mind.
So now, if you're a righteous man, what kind of wife would be after your own mind? You have to be a righteous woman, right? Hast thou a wife after thy own mind?
Hast thou a wife after thy own mind?
Come on.
Forsake her not.
Leave her not. Don't you leave that woman. Right?
But give not thyself over to a light woman.
But don't give yourself over to a simple-minded woman. So for our daughters, our sisters, you have to have wisdom. You got to have wisdom. How do you get, where does wisdom come from? Where does wisdom come from? Let's get it. Sirach 1 and 1. Sirach 1 and 1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
All wisdom cometh from the Most High.
No, some wisdom.
All wisdom cometh from the Most High.
So where does wisdom come from? The Most High God. Okay. What did he give us? His word. His word is where we get wisdom. Okay. Through his precepts do we get knowledge. Okay. We search the word. Matter of fact, give me St. John 5 and 39. St. John 5 and 39. St. John 5, verse 39.
The book of St. John, chapter 5, verse 39.
Right?
St. John 5 and 39.
Right?
Search the scriptures.
Do what?
Search the scriptures.
Search the scriptures. Read on.
For in them ye think ye have eternal life.
Come on.
And they are they which testify of me.
The scriptures are what testify of the Most High God. That's how we get his wisdom. Through searching the scriptures. Okay? That's man and woman. We have to search the scriptures. We got to be in the book. Yeah? This way, when you come together, and I'm not talking about doctrines, because sometimes that could be another confusion going on in Israel. Because you have a lot of unmarried women and men, they in the scriptures, but then they get all these doctrines in them. Because they watch this person on YouTube, they listen to this camp, and they listen to that camp, and this camp say this, and that camp say that, and then they get all confused with doctrine. So now when they go to meet a husband, they end up being more of a debate and a battle on doctrine. Right? And you miss the opportunity to come together. Because with all the doctrines you have and different understandings, right? When you understand marriage, we started with Ephesians 5:22. What did he tell the woman to do? What did he tell the woman to do in 5:22? He told the woman to submit. Right? Go back to Ephesians 5:22.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Wives, submit yourselves. Wives, submit yourselves.
You have to submit yourself. Now, this is not just talking about physically, right? This is mentally and spiritually. You got to be ready to submit yourself. That means to give yourself. Meaning that you might have had all these ideas and doctrines and this and that. You know what? If you're going forth to be married and be a wife of a righteous man, submit yourself. Right? What doctrines you agree with, great. If you don't agree with, you cut that doctrine, it's cut. Move on. Okay? Get your wisdom from your husband from that point. Okay? Build yourself up. But when you take on this husband, you gotta be ready to submit yourself. That's why you gotta get to learn somebody and know them. You can't just be off of what they look like. A couple of laughs. Right? A couple of laughs was good. But then what happens after, the joke is over? Right? And now we have to dig down and have to be moving in the same direction. Okay? Then what? All the confusion comes out. Because they're not on one accord. Okay? You're not on one accord. So it behooves us to get past that initial phase of what we learn in this world of how to find a mate and find a mate according to what the scripture said. Our forefathers took this real serious. It wasn't a light thing. All right. Our forefathers, when they came to who you was going to marry, that wasn't nothing light. All right. Let's go do some of the history on that. Let's get Genesis. What was it? Abraham? 24 and 1. Genesis 24, verse 1. Let's get some foundation understanding.
The book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 1.
Come on.
And Abraham was old and well stricken in age.
Come on.
The Most High had blessed Abraham in all things. Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh,
right?
And I will make thee swear by the Most High thy power of heaven,
come on,
and that the power of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son,
right,
of the daughters of the Canaanites.
Right, so what? Abraham is on his deathbed, and he's making his servant swear to him that you will not let my son marry a daughter of the Canaanites. Why is that? What was the problem with marrying a daughter of the Canaanites? What was the problem with them? What was the issue? Why couldn't you marry the daughter of the Canaanites? Let's see why he's saying this. Let's see by law why he's saying this. Hold that and get Deuteronomy 7th chapter. 7 and 1. Deuteronomy 7 verse 1. Some people say, well, because they're other nations. But what was the problem with marrying other nations? What's the issue? Because this issue can also exist with people of your own nation. And I'm going to show you. All right?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Come on.
When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land where thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee,
come on,
the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Right, so all these nations were not Israelites. There were other nations that were in the midst of us. Right, we were Hamitic by nature, right? Because we were in the midst of Ham a lot as we grew as a nation. Read on.
When the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them.
Right, we're going to kill them. Read on.
And utterly destroy them.
Read on.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them,
come on,
nor show mercy unto them.
Read on.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Why is that? Read.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Come on.
For they will turn away thy son from following me,
right?
That they may serve other gods.
Other what?
other
See,
gods.
that's the issue. When you marry, you got to marry within someone that will serve the God that you serve, right? Because if you don't, they can turn away your heart to serving other gods. Okay. So this is very important for our unmarried population, right? That they seek how important this is. That they're not going to look for men out there in the world. Our daughters and our young men are not looking for women out there in the world who don't know nothing about the Most High, right? If you do meet somebody in the world, teach them about the Most High first. See if they can grasp the scriptures before you want to put them in your grasp. Okay? Because if they can't grasp the scriptures, you in for a problem. Because later on, they will turn your heart from the Most High. Right? You're not going to have to make arrangements and change things about the way you're doing business, the way you speak. Because why? Their heart is from the Most High. And this is talking about, and I want to reiterate, this is to the unmarried. I'm saying this is unmarried. This is also for the men, mainly. I need to express that this is talking about the first wife. Okay. I'll do a whole nother class on dealing with second wives and concubines and all that other stuff, which is a different criteria. This criteria is the wife of your bosom. Okay. This criteria is for the woman that you are going to be within your home. Yeah. And we'll talk about the different other marriages that exist in the scripture, maybe in another class. We won't go too deep into that right now. But this class is going to the unmarried that looking for that wife for their bosom within their household. You know what I mean? When are they going to possibly have their children with, if they're of age to have children, or they're not beyond children age. But if they are going to have children, this is what you're going to come home to. This is what's going to be your homestead, right? Like the scriptures say, a stay. Scriptures call it a stay. A stay means that she takes care of the home, all right? Your home, okay? Just want to make sure that's being known of what this is referring to. So go back to Genesis 24. You got precept? What you got?
First Ezra, chapter 8, verse 69.
All right, Ezra 8 and verse 69. Right.
First Ezra, chapter 8, verse 69. It's in the Apocrypha, page 11. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, and the Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites.
Right, come on.
For both they and their sons have married with their daughters.
You know.
And the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land.
Come on.
And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity.
You know.
And as soon as I had heard these things, I rent my clothes.
Right? He was upset. He rent his clothes when he heard these things. We don't.
And the holy garment. And pulled off the hair from off my head.
Come on.
And beard. And sat me down sad and very heavy. So all they that were then moved at the word of the Most High, that power of Israel, assembled unto me, which I mourned for the iniquity, but I sat still full of heaviness until the evening sacrifice.
Right. So when he saw this thing, as a prophet of the Most High, it's depressing.
Right.
It's depressing when you see, a prophet of the Most High, a brother that's abounding and doing great things, and then he goes takes a strange woman, and then you don't see him no more. Right? What happens? His heart gets taken away from the Most High. Because now he has to what? He has to please that woman. Paul told us about this. He said, when you take a wife, you're going to be concerned on the things that please that woman to a certain extent, right? You could be the toughest brother, you 100 about the most high work, but when you take that wife, right? Especially if that wife finds a lot of favor in your eyes, you're going to do what you're going to, let me say, what am I looking for? You're going to cater to what that woman wants. But one of the wisest kings, Solomon, let's get him next. Give me first Kings 11, verse 1. One of the wisest King Solomon, right, with all power and glory, even he did that. So who are you to think that you ain't going to do it, right? And now women, who are you to think that you could take this man and convert him? You first have to see, can he hear the word of the Most High? So that you know your household is going to be ran a certain way. This has to be done before you lay down, before you get into any kind of romantic exchange with this man. You have to make these things known, right? These are pointers that got to be done before. Because once you start mixing your spirits, your bodies, you're going to mix your spirit. And your whole spirit is into it now. And you're not going to see clearly what you ought to be doing or not be doing. All right, read that.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 1. 1 Kings 11 and verse 1.
Read.
But King Solomon loved many strange women.
Loved many what?
Strange women.
King Solomon loved many strange women. Right? Women that did not serve Yahweh. Or Hashem Mashach Yahweh Shah. That's a strange woman to us. Right? Read on.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh.
Come on.
Women of the Moabites, the Ammonites, Edomite, Zidonians, and Hittites.
Come on.
Of the nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them.
Right. We read that in what? Deuteronomy 7 chapter. So he's referring. Most already told us to leave these women alone. Read on.
Neither shall they come in unto you.
Come on.
For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love.
In what?
In love.
He's in love, right? He's clave unto these women in love, right? Because why? He's looking at the creature. He's not concentrating on the creator, right? He's being distracted. When you start putting the creature before the creator, now you what? All your loves is now involved. Your desire is involved. Okay. Now you want to cater to this woman. Okay. As a man, all right. How much more a woman to a man? You want to cater as well, right? And then what? The Most High no longer loving the Most High with all your heart, soul, and mind. All right. Let's start putting some stuff on this board in a minute. All right. I feel it coming. Read on.
Verse 3. And he has 700 wives,
right?
Princesses, and 300 concubines,
right?
And his wives turned away his heart.
He did what?
His wives turned away his heart.
Turned away his heart. So first word I'm going to put up on here. His heart. Right? And your heart in the scriptures, it equals your desire. Your heart equals your desire. Okay? When scriptures talk about your heart, it's talking about your desire. Where your heart is, that's where your desire is. Okay? If your heart is towards the Most High, that's where your desire is going to be towards. If your heart is turned away from the Most High, that's where what's going to be most important to you. Okay. We have to be careful with our hearts. We got to keep our heart with the Most High. Okay. Even our daughters, man. You get a husband, you can't forget the Most High. Right? Remember, it says the first scripture we went into is come together in the fear of the Most High. That has to be the center of the relationship. If that's not the center, you're going to fail. Or you're going to have some hard times. Okay. Remember, this class is for the unmarried. Okay. But as for the married, you might look at these things and you might say, wow, you know what? I can make some corrections. But this is not for the married. This is for the unmarried. So they do these things ahead of time. Okay. Read on.
Verse 4. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
Right. When he got older and his strength started to fade, his wives started to turn his heart away because he's not putting up so much of a fight anymore. You know what I mean? You know, maybe when he was young, he was steadfast. You know, you can't move me. But who wants to keep battling when they get home, right? When they're supposed to be at rest, right? You know?
And his heart was not perfect with
Right.
the Most High, his power,
Come on.
as was the heart of David, his father.
Right. So his heart declined. It was no longer perfect with the Most High, right? Because why? That constant, you have that woman that's in your bosom, she'll weigh you down. She'll weigh you down. Might not be in the beginning. Don't worry, it's coming later on. Your defenses is down, and it should weigh you down because why? Her heart is not towards the Most High. Your heart desire, right? Heart equals desire, and it's going to be towards Yahweh, right? Towards Yahweh. Your heart and desire has to be towards Yahweh. Give me Proverbs. Proverbs 7 and 1. Proverbs 7 verse 1.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Come on.
My son,
Uh-huh.
keep my words
Uh-huh.
and lay up my commandments with thee.
Mm-hmm.
Keep my commandments and live, and my law as an apple of thy eye.
As an apple, the law of the Most High should be the apple of your eye. Sweet, beautiful to you. Read on.
Bind them upon their fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Write them upon the table of thy heart.
About what?
Heart.
Right. Write the law in your heart. So we're gonna put the in the heart, we're gonna put the law. Read on.
Say unto wisdom,
Say unto wisdom, come on.
thou art my sister.
My what?
Thou art my sister.
Wisdom is your sister. Read on.
And call understanding thy king's woman,
Mm-hmm.
that they may keep thee from the strange woman.
From the what?
From the strange woman.
You see, it's all of that. When the scriptures talk about the strange woman, yes, it's talking about the other nations, but it's also talking about, you know, our people moving like the other nations. You know what I mean? How different are you if you're not keeping the law, statute, commandments than the other nations? Right? You're moving in the same spirit. When you come into this battle to serve the Most High, we got to be mindful of that. Right? Sometimes we look and say, well, he's an Israelite, or well, she's an Israelite by lineage. Right? But the scriptures say that axe is laid to the root even of the children of Abraham. Meaning that what? It's about who's going to what? Submit unto the law, statute, commandments. Read on.
That they may keep thee from the strange woman,
Uh-huh.
from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
Right. From the stranger that flattereth with her words. So we need to be mindful as men, right? Not to be caught up. All right. Now give me Proverbs 6 and 23. Proverbs 6 and verse 23.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23.
Uh-huh.
For the commandment is a lamp,
Right.
and the law is light.
The law is what?
And the law is light.
And the law equals light. Right? The law is light. Read on.
And reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
So now all this research in the scriptures for is instructing us how to live. These are the ways of life. These are things that we have to consider. right? When we're going forth for a mate. All this, you might say, oh, I thought this class was about how to find the right man, what to look for. First, before you look outside of you, you got to look inside of you. Make sure that your eyes is right. Because if your eyes is right, you're not going to notice the right mate, the right husband, if you're a woman, or the right wife, if you're a man. Because your eyes ain't right now. Right? You get your eyes right. Put the right perspective. Then you'll be able to see who would fit this criteria. Read on.
Verse 24.
Uh-huh.
To keep thee from the evil woman.
From the what?
From the evil woman.
To keep you from the evil woman. The Lord will do that. The light will do that. That's upon you. Read on.
To keep thee from the evil woman,
Uh-huh.
from the flattering of the tongue of a strange woman.
Right, so it keeps talking about the flattering of her tongue. The other scripture, the flattering of her words, right? Because words, conversation, stimulate the mind, right? You have a certain conversation, you might say, oh, I like this person, right? You talk on the phone. Social media is big on that. They hit you in the DMs, and they got funny things to say, stuff that make you feel good when you hear it said, right? And you start to forget about where your heart's supposed to be. Your heart starts to decline. Your desire starts to move from the Most High onto these flattering words. What's being said? Right? When you have to be mindful and say, well, what is this person saying about the Most High God? So much flattering me. How about you? What's your word with the Heavenly Father? All right? Where's your heart at? Where's your inward person? Where are your battles? You know, how are you shining your light? What about the laws? Right? If that conversation has nothing to do with that, you got to question this speech that you hear. All right? You got to question. They hit you in the DM. They want to talk about how pretty you are, your skin, and all this kind of stuff. Your eyes and your smile and your. Wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with receiving compliments. You know, women like compliments, men like compliments too, even though they want to admit it, right? But in the midst of that, what about where your heart's at? Don't forget that. Right? Those things are nice, but don't forget about the heart. All right? Read on. Because it'll keep the man from the evil woman, but it'll also keep the woman from the evil man too. Women got to be mindful of this. This man only talking about, you know, the conversation get real carnal after about 11 p.m., right? When they say there ain't no scripture at midnight, right? After about 11, this is just my experience. This is not according to the word. I speak as a man when I say this. But after about 11 p.m., the scriptures, the conversation tends to get a little carnal, all right? Before it was talking about Most High, and now it's about your eyes, your feet, your toes, your this and that.
What you have on right now?
What you got on right now?
You ready for bed? What do you have on?
Right? The conversation changes. It's happening right now to somebody in Israel. That's why we dealing with this thing. Because it's rampant. Facebook, you know, all these social media outlets, you know, they come out with the Hebrew Israelite name, and they come with the righteous front, and then, you know, they want to talk about, you know, send me a pic. Right? Read on.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Lust not after her beauty.
Do what?
Lust not after her beauty.
So the scriptures is instructing men to lust not. Right? Very important. Lust not after her what?
Lust not after her beauty.
Now lust is has the same meaning as desire. Right? So you can't say you will never lust, because lust and desire are sins. But after her beauty, that's what you're not supposed to lust after, not after her flesh. Right? You recognize her beauty, yes. The scriptures talk about the man loved nothing better than a beautiful woman. Right? But at the same time, you're not supposed to desire her because of her beauty. Right? You could observe her because of her beauty. You could be, you know, interested because of her beauty, but you don't just make the determination whether you should be with her or not according to her beauty. You see what I'm saying? And that goes for the women to the men too. Not because it's somebody look, right? You make the determination whether you should be with that person or not. You have to see where that person's heart is at, right? Where is their heart, right? A lot of people, they want to be loved so much. They want to be praised and how can I say, deitized, become a deity. They want to be a goddess in the eyes of their man, right? But that ain't gonna work either, because after a while, when their heart is inclined towards you too much, then what? Then they become overly, how could you say, they be ready to lock you in the basement, right? If you're overly, I want to say protective. I would say more obsessed with the person and not the Most High. Their heart needs to be with the Most High. That's the only way this thing is going to work. The only way the person's going to be level, they got to have that love for the Heavenly Father, all right? And they got to be willing and ready to submit themselves onto what the Father said to do, all right? We know.
We have Proverbs chapter 6, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Lust not after her beauty in thy heart,
right?
Neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
Come on.
For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
Right, so we know that the scriptures is talking about here. All right. And for men, we have to be mindful on what is attracting you to this woman, why you getting this woman. And the same thing, a woman could read this too and saying, am I coming across this way? Am I trying to attract this man with my eyelids? Am I trying to use my sexuality to win over this man? All right? It goes both ways, right? Because we know women are aware that their sexuality can weaken a man. Okay? Women are aware of this. Just like men are aware, women are aware. They say, well, oh, he like me? I'm going to put on something extra pretty tonight. And when he see me tonight, he's going to be finished, right? I mean, we know the deal, right? He said, I'm going to put an extra, get the toes done, everything. Everything is out, right?
Put on the get 'em girl pants.
Get them, right? It's get them girls, right? So it's known both ways. But that's what we read in scripture. Is that what our righteous women did? No. They actually humbled themselves and made themselves attractive by making themselves more humble to Yah. Okay? And we're going to read about that. So let's go back now. Let's go back to the story of Isaac. That's it in Proverbs. Yeah, we dropped that. All right? Let's go back to Genesis. We got a lot of ground to cover. And we got to hit certain points. So let's get Genesis. Go back to Genesis 24. So he says, make sure you don't get no woman from the Canaanites. Right? Pick up verse
Genesis 24, verse 4. The book of Genesis, chapter 24 and verse 4. And the serpent said unto him, peradventure, the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest? And Abraham said unto him, beware, thou bring not my son thither again. The Most High, thy power of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and which spake unto me, and that swear unto me, saying, unto thy seed will I give this land. He shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence.
Right, so now what? He's going to send an angel to put that spirit in that woman to want to go with you. Okay? So he said he's going to send an angel before you to make sure this all works out. Right? But where is he sending his servant to? Where is he sending him to? Back to his homeland. All right? We know.
And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swear to him swear to him concerning that matter. Verse 10. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed.
For present time, jump down to the 15th verse.
Genesis 24, verse 15. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, son of Michal, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother.
Right. So what is Rebekah's what's her relation to Isaac? What is Rebekah's relation to Isaac? Let's look at that. Let's look at verse 15 again. Let's read it again, read it slow.
Genesis 24 and verse 15.
And it came to pass.
I got you. I looked at 14. I thought we could have read that. Sorry. Genesis 24:15. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, right? Who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor,
son of Milcah,
right?
The wife of Nahor, right?
Abraham's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder.
Right. So now, what was the relationship between? Now, Abraham's son is Isaac, right? So, what was the relation? Who was Rebekah to Abraham? Cousins, right? Cousins. So he sent his servant back to his family to go get a cousin to marry his son, right? Now, we're not saying I'm here teaching this class, and we're seeing scripture that this is something that was practiced in Israel. Why was this practiced? Because you went back to your roots, right? To find somebody for your son or for your family that what you know will have this relation with, have these family ties with, right? That was raised a certain way. We're going to prove all that has to do with it. Why you went back to your household. Because you're looking at how this person was raised. Because that's the only way you would know what stock these people are from. A lot of time in this society, people meet a man, a woman meet a man, or a man meets a woman, don't know who their family is. Have no idea. And already made a decision on how they want to be with this person. Don't know a father, a brother, a sister, uncle, cousin, nothing. Right? We didn't move that way. We needed to know the stock of your family. To the point where we tend to go back to the stock of our own family because we don't know what family you from. All right? But once we can attest to your family ties, then we can say, okay, what type of person you probably are. Right? Because you're from a good family. You're from a good stock. What's your family do? What do they do? Not saying you won't have nobody that went wayward in your family, but overall, you know what I mean? Overall, do you have that, that good history? What are your family into? What did they do? Who's your father? Who's your mother? Who's your uncles, your cousins, everything, right? Because that speaks about who you are, right? We have to now, so another instruction for the unmarried is get to know their family first before you make a decision, right? If they have, well, I don't know none of my family. That's a bit of a problem, right? It's not a deal breaker, but it is something that you need to look at. Say, why don't you know your family? What's the issue there? You know what I mean? Is it something reoccurring? All right? I'm not saying judge the person according to their family. I'm saying get to know their family. Okay? Get to know their family. Get to know where they're coming from. Right? So here, read on. Next verse 16.
Verse 16. And the damsel was very, very fair to look upon.
Right, so she was physically beautiful. Right? So that does play a role,
A virgin.
Uh-huh.
Neither had any man known her.
Right?
And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up.
Mhm.
And the servant ran to meet her and said, let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord, out of one. And she hasted and let down her pitcher upon her hand.
Right, so I want this, I can stop right there. So what? His first interaction with this woman was what? That she was what? She was very respectful, right? She was very respectful. He asked her for some water. She doesn't know him. She was very generous, right? She showed all these qualities that quick, right? He said, oh, want some water? Here you go, right? She didn't gain nothing by giving him water, but that was her spirit. That was the type of person she was. So that now him receiving this from her, he already knew, okay, she's just not, how can you say, a pretty face, right? Get the book of Sirach. Let's look at this real quick. 36 and 22. Sirach 36, verse 22. I'm going to jump back and forth between man and the woman, but yet I understand. A lot of times we talk about the men, the woman have to look at it from the other perspective. If the man is not supposed to solely be based upon your looks, then you should not be selling yourself based upon your looks, right? If the man is supposed to be looking at your wisdom, then that's when you should be bringing forth your wisdom, right? Your understanding, your humbleness, right? She brought forth a respectful humbleness out of her mouth, right? She should call him my Lord, everything. Oh, lay down your picture, gave him water, didn't hesitate, right? Didn't say, you don't know me, who you know, like anything to that effect, right? You know, some men, they say they like a feisty woman, right? They like them for the first few years, right? But after that third and fourth and fifth year, all that feistiness is not cute anymore, right? Now it's drama in the house. Now you don't want to deal with that woman anymore, all right? The scriptures call it a forward woman, all right? But we're gonna get that too. Let's read.
The book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 36, verse 22. We have the Red Apocrypha, page 92.
Benjamin called it feisty, right?
Right.
He called it feisty in Judah. Called it feisty. Benjamin called it feisty, right? You don't want a feisty one. At first it's fun, but then you go. After a while, that feisty one rub you the wrong way. All right, read that.
The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men?
Right, so if there's kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then her husband is not like other men. You know, she's going to get a great husband. She's not going to just get anybody. If there's kindness, meekness in your tongue as a woman, you're going to have what? Your husband ain't going to be like other men. You look at yourself real, a leader, a righteous man, a man that you could admire, right? Have admiration towards. Say, oh, it's a good person, okay. But you got to have that in your tongue. If you don't have that in your tongue, you're gonna get riffraff. That's what happens. That's what happens. It happens over and over again in the nation. In the nation. All right. Remember, we talking in the nation too. All right. A lot of these rules and stuff that we're gonna go over tonight, we're talking about in the nation. All right. In Israel. Okay. Read.
Verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. A help like unto himself.
Like unto who?
A help like unto himself.
Yeah, they gotta have stuff in common. Like unto himself. They gotta have something in common. What they need to have in common is they gotta have that heart in common. All right? They gotta have the desire to serve the Most High in common. Okay? Or, they gotta be in a commonality of what their aspirations are. Maybe they're trying to get closer to the Most High. Maybe they're both new at it. Maybe they're trying to learn more, right? But they got to have that a help like unto himself, all right? If you know you're a man that you like farming, husbandry, right? Dealing with, your land and stuff like that, and you get yourself a woman that can't stand dirt, you're gonna have a problem. So it's not just scripture, but you also have to have what? Things in common, right? Doesn't matter what we look like, that you have things in common. All right? What's that? You see something?
No, this is writing stuff.
Okay. They got questions online, they just post them. You're gonna be monitoring it, right? All right. So let's go back to Genesis.
I am finishing.
Okay, finish that right there first.
Sirach 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest.
Right, pillar of rest. So we're going to jump back to the story in Genesis 24. We're going to jump down for a process of time, and I want to pick it up with the 36th verse.
Okay. Genesis 24, verse 36.
Uh-huh.
And Sarah, my master's wife.
So the servant is telling them what is the deal here. So he says, Sarah, my master's wife, Abraham's wife,
bare a son.
Right, that son is Isaac,
to my master when she was old.
Uh-huh.
And unto him hath he given all that he had.
Come on.
And my master made me swear, saying,
right,
thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell.
Right.
But thou shalt go unto my father's house.
Go where?
My father's house.
Thou shalt go back to my father's house, my family. Read on.
And to my kindred.
And my kindred. People I understand, people that came up like I came up. Read on.
And take a wife unto my son.
Read.
And I said unto my master, peradventure, the woman will not follow me.
Right. Well, that's the point I want to get there. And he sent him back to his father's house to get a wife out of his own kindred. Okay. Rose like he would rose. Understands what he understands. Has the same love, taught to respect the Most High God. That's what he was taught to. All right. So this is the kind of woman that he went and got for his son. All right. Let's jump down. When she finally meets him. So get 64. Or 63. Verse 63. Let's see how she reacts when she meets him. Read that.
All right.
Same Genesis 24. 63.
Genesis 24, verse 63.
Come on.
And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lightened up off the camel.
She jumped off the camel,
for she has said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant has said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself.
Right, so look what she did. Right? She saw the man, she said, who is this? The servant said, that's the master, that's the man I'm bringing you to. She jumps off the camel and veils herself, covers herself, right? Why? Why does she cover herself? What is that when a woman covers herself? What is that showing? That's showing what? An act of humility, right? She humbled herself before Isaac. She didn't, I'll boast of her beauty. And the scripture says she was very fair, right? But she said when she saw the husband, the righteous man, she humbled herself. Read on.
And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent and took Rebekah,
right?
And she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted, sorry, Slack is, after his mother's death.
Right?
That was it. That was
right. He was comforted after his mother's death. So he took her and was comforted after his mother's death. So they became husband and wife right there on the spot. When he lay with her, they became one. All right. So the father did the work for Isaac. Right? He sent the servant out, search out the woman, prayed to the Most High, got angels involved, everything so that he could get. Now, today we do the work for ourselves, right? We got to now do this work and look for that type of woman so that what we can come home and have that same love that Isaac had for Rebecca, that same type of relationship. Okay, so we got to do the work. All right, we make sure we're looking for the right things, right? Male and female. You know what I mean? Man and woman. We both have to be looking for the right things. All right. As a woman, you should be looking for that man to be that righteous leader. Let me show you something. Give me Isaiah 32 and verse 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 1. Isaiah 32 and verse 1. Behold, a king shall reign in the righteousness, and prince shall rule in judgment.
Right?
And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind.
Right. A man shall be as a hiding place from the wind. All right. So the wind represents what? Danger, destruction. Right? That man is supposed to be that hiding place from danger and destruction. That's the kind of man you want. Now, that's not a man full of folly. Right? That's not a man that makes me laugh. You know what I mean? If that's so important to you, right? But you want that man that what? He has self-control. He's solid. He's stable. What makes somebody stable? Hold that. Give me Isaiah 33 and 6. Remember this?
Yeah.
So this is a stable man.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 6. Isaiah 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Most High is his treasure.
Right, so a man that's stable, right, means he has wisdom and knowledge. Go back, read on.
A man, book of Isaiah 32, verse 2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind,
right,
and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
Right.
And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim.
Right. Give me Isaiah 13, verse 12. Right? Like water in a weary place, meaning that what? Very needed, very necessary. That's the men that the Most High is creating. These men that's dedicated themselves to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High have their value have increased 100-fold, 1,000-fold. So why have a man of the Most? If you got a man of the Most High, you're going to go get a man out there in the world that you can't trust. You don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what God they serve. Where's their stock? Where's their heart? Right? Read on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
Read that again.
I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
When the Most High makes a man, when he forms us, when he makes us how we supposed to be, then we become more precious than fine gold. That's when the Most High makes you, right? You're not made out of what this world is made out of. You're made after the rudiments of the Most High God, after his will, right? After his heart, you know?
I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
Right, the top gold. The golden wedge of Ophir, meaning that what? The most precious gold on the earth is a man's going to be more precious than that if he's formed by the Most High. Okay. If that man is formed by the Most High, if that man put on his law, statutes, commandments. All right. So, what are we saying here? You know, we have to be mindful of how we choose mates. We got to choose mate according to their righteousness instead of according to their look, per se, right? Looks does play a role because you got to be romantically inclined for this person. So I'm not saying you don't look at the looks at all. Of course you do, right? That's what I'm saying. But that cannot be the deciding factor. That might bring you in the door, but you first, before you go anything further, you got to see where their heart is at, right? And you got to let the person know, listen, I'm just trying to see where your heart is at, right? You let them straight up. Don't beat around. Listen, we hear this truth. We don't have to have no charades. We're not going to play no games, right? I'm talking to you. I want to see where your heart is at. If it's possible that you could be a suitable husband or a suitable wife. You got to be ready to hear that. I know we're taught that you got to be, covert. People want to be straightforward, but the truth is straightforward. The truth is, we're walking in the light. We're not walking in darkness. So when you're in the light, this is what it is. This is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. This is where we're at. Whether the person, is ready or not, at least they know you. This is what you're about, right? Instead of being covert and beating around the bush and not being straightforward. All right. So search the heart. Right. Try the reins. All right. See what's in their heart. See if their heart is full of foolishness or folly, or see if they're really about this word. All right. Because in past times, like here, the father did this for his son. Okay. Now we being the sons and daughters, we gotta, our parents, they have sinned. Right? We are a generation out of sinful parents. So they can't do that for us. We have to do it for ourselves. We got to teach our children to do this. Okay? To incline their heart towards the Most High. Train our children to serve the Most High and how to interact. Okay? Let's get, was it Deuteronomy 27? Our daughters. What was that? Oh, Numbers 36, verse 1. Numbers 36, verse 1. Let's look at that. Why am I pointing out him going back to his own stock, his own family? Because that's an important point. Because this is how we did as Hebrews. And you have to start to understand, well, why did we do this? Why did we go back to our own family? Right? Because we were able to speak of our own families, how they operated, how they were taught. All right. Even before you go there, give me the book of Tobit. In the book of Tobit, let's look at why Tobias was worthy to marry Sarah in Tobit. What did he say? Tobit 7, verse 12. Tobit 7, verse 12.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7, verse 12. Tobit 7, verse 12. Raguel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin,
right?
And she is thine, and the merciful power, Yahweh, give you good success in all things.
Right. So may the Most High merciful power give you good success. So he said, you could take her to wife because you are like her cousin. Right. I know people watching videos saying, oh, these men just pushing cousins. We're pushing the understanding on why they chose cousins. We're not saying to go out and find your cousin. Let me clarify. But understand why did they go for their cousins, right? Because They were looking for those that were rose a certain way. So they knew their family, they knew their lineage, right? When you go further back, when he talks about his brother, when Raguel talks about Tobit, he talks about what a great man he was. So he knew because of how Tobit was that Tobias must be a good man too. Tobit being his father. So he said, well, your father's a good man, so you probably a good man as well, right? And when he invited him in, right? So, this is what they were looking at. They were looking at the family tree. Okay, so to go back to your cousins, kind of ensure the family tree. Okay, but if you meet a good family, then you could marry your child off to a good family, whether it was your cousin or not. And we're going to prove that as well. Okay, as we go now, let's go to where 36 of what are they called?
Numbers 36, verse 1.
Right. It's called Numbers 36, verse 1.
The book of Numbers, chapter 36, verse 1.
Come on.
And the chief fathers of the families of the children of Gilead,
right,
the son of Melchior, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph came near.
Right. So wait a minute. What Manasseh?
Manasseh. Right.
All right. So that's the tribe we're dealing with right now. Huh? All right. Manasseh. All right. Let's go.
Of the families of the sons of Joseph came near and spake before Moses.
Sons of Joseph. Joseph had two sons, right? Ephraim and Manasseh. So we deal with the Manasseh. Come on.
And before the prince of chief fathers of the children of Israel.
Read.
And they said, the Most High commanded out of one to give the land for an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel. And my Lord out of one was commanded by the Most High to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, onto his daughters.
Onto his what?
Onto his daughters.
Zelophehad's inheritance had to go to his daughters, right? Because he had no sons. So his daughters inherited Zelophehad's inheritance. Read on.
And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes, of the children of Israel, then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of the fathers,
right,
and shall be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance.
Right. So this is an instance where this would be an issue, right? Because if these daughters would take a husband of another tribe, their inheritance would go to that husband because the possessions of the wife goes with her to her husband. Okay? The husband then becomes lord over her possessions. Right? Her possessions become his possessions. So they were saying, wait a minute. His daughters got these possessions because he had no sons. And if they marry other tribes, what's going to happen to all the land that allotted to? Right? It's going to go to those men, right?
And when the jubilee of the children of Israel shall be, then shall the inheritance be put onto the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall their inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. And Moses commanded the children of Israel according to the word of the Most High, saying, the tribe of the sons of Joseph have said well. Right? This is the thing which the Most High doth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best, only to the family of the tribe of their fathers.
Only to the family of the tribe of their fathers. Why did he say this? Because of the inheritance. Okay? This deal here is because of the inheritance. Because they didn't want it to be what? Wiped away. Why? Because it's against the law to remove the landmark, right? Give me Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 22:28. And then give me Deuteronomy 27:17.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 28. Proverbs 22 and verse 28.
Come on.
Remove not the ancient landmark.
Do what?
Remove not the ancient landmark.
Right. So they couldn't, the daughters had to marry in the tribe because when a man and woman marry, their possessions become the ownership of that man. Right? Her possessions becomes that man's ownership. Right? And therefore it will be removed from her family. Read on.
Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set.
Come on.
Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings.
That's it. Deuteronomy 27:17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 and verse 17. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark.
Right?
And all the people shall say, Amen.
Amen. Right? Deuteronomy 19:14. Getting these scriptures to show how important that how marriage played such an economical role, right, in Israel. Because marriage is not just joining of just a man and woman, it's a joining of a man and woman and their possessions. Okay? People want to be married, but they want to keep all their possessions to themselves. Right? We married, but this is all mine. What do they call it? Prenuptial agreement? Prenups, right? So you can retain all your possessions. That's not the Most High. Nope. You come with all your possessions as a woman, and that becomes, if the man is the head of the house, all your possessions go to that man. All right, read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thy inheritance,
right?
Which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Most High thy power giveth thee to possess it.
Right. So again, it's telling us you cannot remove the landmark, right? So this is why that marriage is why they were instructed that they must marry within their tribe. Go back to Numbers 36.
Numbers 36, verse 6. This is the thing which the Most High doeth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best. Only to the family of the tribe of their fathers shall they marry. So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe. For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his father.
Right.
And every daughter that possesseth an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his father.
Right. So this was the point. The inheritance, that you might enjoy the inheritance of your father. So you wasn't being poked somewhere away. Right? Read.
Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe.
Right, come on.
Every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance.
Come on.
Even as the Most High commanded Moses, so did the daughters of Zelophehad.
Right, Zelophehad. So that's what's very important. Right? You know.
For Mahalah, Tirzah, Haglah, and Melchah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married unto their father's brothers' sons.
Right, their father's brothers' sons, which would they be their what? Cousins. Right, so it goes back to the family. Read on.
And they were married into the families of the sons of Manasseh, the sons of Joseph.
Right,
and their heritage remained in the tribe of the family of their father.
Come on.
These are the commandments and the judgments which the Most High commanded by the hand of Moses unto the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho.
Right. So that understanding is there. That when we were handed that decree, it was about possessions. Right? It wasn't that, oh, you can't, it's disrespectful to marry another tribe or whatever. It had nothing to do with that. Okay? It had everything to do with possessions. All right. If you had an inheritance, the inheritance need to stay in that family's, in that tribe's, the tribal inheritance. And I tell you, these inheritance was the landmarks that was made by the Most High God for that particular tribe. This is not inheritance that these men just acquired, through, whatever means. You to remove this landmark is like you're removing the Most High's landmark. Okay, you can't do that. All right, we read enough scripture that we can't do that. So this is the instance in scripture where we're instructed that and when it's like this, marry within your tribe. Okay, if you have this inheritance situation. Okay, but there's no other instruction saying that it is not wicked to marry outside of your tribe, right? Right, it's not an evil thing. All right, so there's some understanding of that that's going around. So I just want to address it, right? That this is the reason why we marry within our tribe. All right. I think it's the same story in Numbers 27. It seems that it's the same situation. Right, so we're not going to deal with Numbers 27. It's the same situation being reiterated. So again, this class is saying, who should I marry? Now, it's a good thing to marry someone who's from where you're from, right? Because there's a commonality there, right? Or has a similar value system, right? From where you're from. So that way, when you go to long haul, your root values are similar, so you can deal with things as you go age together. Because the whole purpose of this marriage is that marriage lasts forever, right? Everybody has to have that mentality coming into the marriage, that this is a forever walk. It's not for as long as it's comfortable, okay? So you should marry someone that has that understanding. If they don't have that understanding, you're already putting yourself in jeopardy. Okay? The person that you're marrying is not looking at this as it's a forever walk, all right? Give me that in Romans 7, verse 1.
Okay, Romans chapter 7 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Romans 7 and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman which have an husband is bound by the law to her husband, right? So long as he liveth.
So long as he liveth, she's bound to her husband. So when you think about that long haul, that whole life long, you got to make the decision, you got to make it right. You know what I mean? And prepared to be bound to their husband for as long as he liveth. Only when he pass away are you loose from that marriage. All right? You're not bound beyond the grave, right? The Most High doesn't hold that as a criteria over your head. Say, okay, we're still married to this man. He's in the grave. When he's passed on, the marriage is cut. Go ahead, read on.
But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband.
Uh-huh.
So then, if while her husband liveth, she is married to another man,
right?
She shall be called an adulteress.
Call a what?
Adulteress.
We call it adulteress. Come on.
But if her husband be dead,
she
is free from the law,
right?
Free from that law,
right?
So that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man.
Right. So if she wants to move on, she's a widow. If she wants to move on, that's fine. All right. Most High is merciful and kind. All right. You don't have to be celibate for the rest of your life. If man pass away, you move on. Okay. These are instances where you're loose. Now today you get together, you get an argument, you so-called break up. There's no breaking up in Israel. Either you marry or you divorce or you're a widow. There's no breaking up. All right. So that breakup mentality is something from the world. All right. And give me 1 John 2:15. 1 John 2:15. We had to cut these lines. We got to get out of these traditions of America, the traditions of society, and come back to the Most High God in its entirety. Because he's teaching us something totally different than what we learn in this world. Read that.
The book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Right.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Right. So if you want to do things according to this world, then the love of the Father is not in you. If you need a ring to be considered married, that's something of this world. If you have a relationship and you think you can break up, then your mind is still in the world. Right? Just the thought that you can break up is a worldly thought. It's not a spiritual thought. You cannot break up. There's no such thing with the Most High. You're together till either one of you dies, all right, or if somebody does something worthy of death, then the other person can divorce that person. What would be that thing worthy of death? Is that adultery. All right? Okay. Because we're not putting people to death, but at the same time, you do something worthy of death, it might be something to annul the marriage, you know what I mean, or to cause a divorce to come to play, come to part. But the Most High hates divorce. He hates when we divorce each other. He's not cheering for us when we divorce, right? Yeah, the book of Malachi 2:14. Malachi 2:14. Malachi 2:14.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 14. Malachi 2 and verse 14. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Most High hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth,
right,
against whom thou hast dealt treacherously,
right.
Yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant.
Right. So men dealt with their wives treacherously, underhandedly. Read on.
And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit, and wherefore one, that he might seek a righteous seed.
Come on.
Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth.
Read.
For the Most High, the power of Israel, saith that he hateth.
He what?
He hateth.
He hateth. Read on.
Putting away.
Putting away, which means divorce. He hates it, man. So that's why we got to be careful when we meet and we make a decision to come together that we're sure, right? And that we're ready to make that lifelong commitment, all right? That's the person that you should marry. You should marry a person that understands that marriage is a lifelong commitment, right? If they don't think that way, then they're already out of the game. We have so much unmarried brothers and sisters in Israel, right? A lot of time it's because they're still holding on to the ideas or the ideologies of this kingdom, and they haven't let it go yet. They're still waiting for they want to go downtown and sign papers with Esau. They want to get a ring. They want somebody to get on one knee, right? All these things, all this worship. Only person we're supposed to kneel before is the Most High God, right? That's the only place that a righteous man kneels before is the Most High God. He'll kneel before no man or a woman, okay? So if a woman wants to be kneeled in front of, then something's wrong with her mind. You see what I'm saying? We say the man not to kneel, then the woman shouldn't want him to kneel, right? The man and the woman, they got to get on the same wavelength, on the same thought pattern, okay? And that thought pattern got to be of Yah and his laws, right? That's in both of our minds. She won't desire which is unlawful, and he won't desire it as well. Okay, let's go back to the book of Sirach. We're gonna finish some more verses in the 36, in 26. It's more understanding. Who should you marry? One that you have in commonality with. One that you know is a good style. one that has these attributes that you read about in Sirach. And then we've read out through all the scriptures that we went over. Okay. We were in Sirach, we made it down to the 14th verse. Read the 15th verse.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 15. Sirach 26, verse 15. A shamefaced and faithful woman is double grace,
Right?
and a content mind cannot be valued.
Right. A content mind cannot be valued. That she says, you know what? A content mind is the type of one that says, you know what? You make enough. You do enough. Right? If you hear your wife say you do enough, you don't have to do anymore, that's a content mind. Right? An incontent mind is a mind that constantly wants more, 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 more. You do this for me, you gotta do it for me every week. Or you want me flowers, give me flowers every day. Right? That's a not content mind. All right, read on. Right, 16.
Verse 16. As the sun, when it arises in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house.
Right, in the ordering of her house. Right, that's how you can see the wisdom of a woman, how her house is in order. Okay, so when you go by, when you're trying to, determine, and this goes for a man too, you visit their home. When you visit their home, it should be in order. Right? That's the indication of if their mind is in order. If everything is in disarray and it's crazy, chances are they're in disarray, they're crazy. Okay? All right? It says, so is a man, so is his kingdom. Okay? So, and it scriptures tell us, Proverbs 14, verse 1, you just write it down, we don't have to go there, that a wise woman buildeth her home. Right? So she makes sure her home is in order. All right? Read on.
Verse 17. As a clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in right age.
Right?
As the golden pillars are upon the sockets.
So what's right age is, in her prime, beauty of the face in her prime, it's like the light of a candle, right? Read on.
Verse 18. As the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, so are the fair feet with a consent heart. My son, keep the flower of thy age constant heart.
Yeah.
My son, keep the flower of thy age sound,
right?
And give not thy strength to strangers.
Right. So what does that mean right there? My son, keep the flower of thy age sound, and give not thy strength unto strangers. The flower of thy age is talking about, right? The flower represents what? That represents a woman's, how do we say? I don't want to use that word. That's Maharakan's word, kubah, right? The flower is referring to a woman's her body, right? So it says, my son, keep the flower of thine age, right? Sound, right? So you want a woman of your age sound, okay? Strong, right? Read. And give not thy strength to a stranger. So stay with your women. Don't give yourself over to strange women. Okay? Right? Physically it's talking about, right? Read on.
When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession.
When you have gotten a fruitful possession, this whole chapter is talking about the wife. So when it says a fruitful possession, you got a wife that's bringing forth good things, good fruit. Like every tree that brings forth good fruit, right? So when she does things, it's very done well, right?
If thou hast gotten a fruitful possession
Uh-huh.
through all the field, sow it with thy own seed.
With thy own what?
With thy own seed.
Right. Sow it with your own seed, meaning that give your seed onto that woman, meaning that what? Have children with her. If she's fruitful, have children with her. All right? Read on.
Trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
Right? Trusting in the goodness of your children that's going to come forth from this woman. All right? So you're going to know that, you know what? This is a good woman to have children with. Right? You know, I know that if I have children with this woman, they're going to be good children because she's a good person. Right? So you look at things like that as a man, you're supposed to look at these things and, well, I don't want to have children with just anybody. I want to have children with a woman I know that these children is in a good stock, so I'm going to have good children coming up. All right? So these things should play on the mind. This is more for the man to pay attention to. Right? But as a woman, this is what you know the man should be thinking. That when he looks upon you, he should look upon you as a good stock, a good woman to have children with. Read on.
Verse 21.
Uh-huh.
So thy race which thou leavest shall be magnified.
Right. So the race that thou leavest, meaning your children that you leave, they're going to be magnified. They're going to do great things. Read on.
Having the confidence of their good descent.
Having the confidence that they came from you and your husband. All right. Read on.
And harlot shall be accounted as spittle.
Right.
But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband.
Right. A harlot shall be counted as spittle. What is spittle? That's the saliva that flies out your mouth when you yell. Right? That's what a harlot is counted as. What's a harlot? That's a woman that what goes from man to man to man to man. The Most High he has no honor to that. He don't respect that kind of woman. Okay. So we have to keep that in mind. Our daughters have to understand you can't be going from man to man to man, have that harlot mentality. Oh, well, I don't like him, I'm gonna get with the next one. Oh, he acting up, I'm gonna get with the next one. Right? That's this world's mentality. That's not the Father. If you got a problem with your husband, a problem with your man, work it out. Work it out. Take some time out. Figure it out. But don't think that the next man gonna cure the situation with the man that you have now. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Even for our sons, you got a problem with your wife, work it out. Don't think, oh, my wife giving me hell, let me go get another wife. That's gonna fix that. It ain't gonna fix the situation, right? All you're gonna do is add fire to the you're adding fuel to the fire. All right? You're adding fuel to the fire. You have to get things right with your wife, you know, and then if you decide to expand your family, you do so. Getting another wife is not the cure to a problem that you're having with your wife. All right? That's only fuel to the fire. You just bring one more thing to have to worry about. Okay? Read on.
Verse 22. And harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband.
Right. So tell our daughters, don't become spittle. Right? Marry. Read on.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Right. A lot of times women say there's no good men. And you really have to examine yourself. Am I a good woman? Right? A woman got to ask himself that. Are you a good woman before you say there's no good men? Okay. Because a wicked man is given to a wicked woman. Are there wicked men out there? Yes. Are there wicked women out there? Absolutely. They deserve each other. But you try to be right, you don't want to get yourself entangled with no wicked partner, right? Or spouse, you know?
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a righteous woman is given to him that feareth the Most High.
Right. So a righteous woman is given to him that feareth the Most High. So if you are a righteous woman, what kind of man you should have? You should have a man that what? Fear the Most High. Very important that we understand this, because I know, this can get weary. You can say, man, you're not finding the person that you're looking for, right? A lot of times we're not finding because we're not really searching in the right place. You know what I mean? What's that? We're looking for love in all the wrong places. Right? If a righteous man is what you're looking for. You should be looking amongst the righteous. They're not falling from the sky. You got to go where the Hebrews are. You got to go in the midst of them. You got to keep your eyes open. Make sure don't be afraid to let it be known that you're looking for a mate, a husband. Right? There's no shame in that. There's more shame in just dwelling out there, waiting for the next knucklehead to try to sweep you off your feet, right? And then you be back in a situation again. All right. This time, I'm looking for a righteous man. Let it be known, I'm looking for a righteous man, a man that knows the Most High, a man that's going to walk after these commandments. If he ain't about these commandments, he can't even call me. He can't even hit me in the DM or whatever they call it nowadays. He can't text me, right? If he's not about these commandments. So that rules out anybody that has any kind of ulterior motive, all right? That you let him know from the door. Listen, if you're not about the Most High, I ain't messing with you, right? So we cut this conversation at the door, all right? Or if you thinking about being with me, you need to go to the school, you need to learn from the brothers. You need to get on YouTube, you need to start learning about the Most High. There's a lot of women that in this truth that have brought men into this truth because the man was looking at them, right? And they said, you know what, you got to learn about the Most High, about these commandments. So there's a lot of men that was brought in this truth who their desire towards a woman. Right? Didn't even realize, but then what happens when they came into this truth, their heart inclined to the Most High, right? So you never know when somebody can wake up, right? They might be interested in you, bring them to the Most High. See if the Most High will clean them up for you, right? But if you don't clean them up for you, then don't mess with them, right? Not because that sounds interesting. You got to see the change in them. You got to see them putting on the laws, the statutes. You got to see the desire to please the Most High in them. You know?
Sirach 26, verse 24. A dishonest woman contemneth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband.
Right?
25.
Right. An honest woman will reverence dishonest woman will contempt shame, meaning that she's going to do things that's going to bring shame to your family, but she's being dishonest. She's stealing. She's defrauding people, underhanded. That brings shame, right? Man, put his head down, know your wife did certain things, like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Can't believe she did that. It's shameful, right? Because a woman is a glory of the man. So when a man has a good woman, he's quick to say, she do well, he's gonna be quick to say, oh, that's my wife. Yeah, she did that. Yeah, she made those jerk chicken, right? He's the first one to say something about it, right? Yeah, my wife made that pan. But now, if your wife is the one that knocked over the convenience store, right? Damn, that's shameful, man. Yeah, that was my wife. Is that scary for the news? Yeah, that was her. Did she get locked up? Yeah, she'll be out next week. Right? I got the bail money. Right? Because why? She's ashamed. It's a shame to that man. So you shame your husband when you do wickedly as a woman. Or dishonestly, I should say.
Verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
As a what?
As a dog.
Right. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Who did Mashiach Yahushua call dogs? Right? What people? Or even the Most High did. These other nations were called dogs in the scriptures. Okay? The Egyptians were called dogs. And when the Canaanite woman came to Mashiach, he called her a dog. So when it says a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, is mean what? Meaning that she's going to be looked at as one of these wicked women from these other nations. What's a shameless woman? A woman that doesn't put away her nakedness. Right? That's counted as a dog. She has no shame. A woman is supposed to cover herself up. She's not supposed to put it all out there. Okay? These women that want to advertise their bodies, that's a dog in the side of the Most. Use their bodies to make money, use their body to get attention. As a righteous woman of the Most High, you're supposed to cover up your body. It's very important our daughters know this. And our sisters know this. Especially those that's able to be in this truth and understand. You have to cover up your body. Right? That shows that you're shamefaced, that you're not shameless. Okay. Read.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog,
Right?
but she that is shamefaced will fear the Most High.
Right. Shamefaced, meaning that what? She covers up. All right? She covers up her shame. She's in control of her shame. What is the shame referring to? Her nakedness. All right? Read.
A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all.
Come on.
But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted unrighteous of all.
All right, read that again.
A woman that honoreth her husband.
A woman that honors her husband. What's another word for honor? Respect. A woman that respects her husband shall be counted. Read that again.
A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all.
Right. She shall be judged wise of all. But then look, when people look at you, that's a wise woman. Look at the way she deals with her husband. Shows him a lot of respect and honor. Right? You see a woman shaming their husband. Oh, shut up, sit down. Right? that's terrible. Nobody should want to say, no, we laugh about it, but that's a very awful sight, man. When you see a woman disrespecting her husband. We in Israel, we can't tolerate that. Right? Because the Most High is watching us. Okay? We can't tolerate that. That's something in the world. The woman run rings around the man stand there quiet. He go to say a word, woman hushing him up. Hush up. Right? I got this. I'll speak. Right? Because they make our men to believe that they are physically strong, therefore they are mentally weak. Right? And that has nothing to do with each other. You can be physically strong and mentally strong and spiritually strong as a man. All right? But our women in this society is taught, okay, you're the more mentally strong one. He's the more physically strong one. Your weight is above his weight. That's not true. You can have a wise woman, but a wise man, is, the scriptures say, more precious than the fine gold. All right? More precious than the fine gold. So keep that in mind. That as men, we can be mentally strong, physically strong, spiritually strong, sound. All right? Read.
A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted unrighteous of all.
Right. So she dishonored him in her pride. Meaning that she want to be the smart one, the one that has all the answers. Read on.
A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies.
Right.
There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry.
Oh, so read that again.
Okay. Verse 27. A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies.
Right. So when a woman cry out about injustices, people pay attention. A woman's voice raised gets everybody's attention. All right. So it can be used, right, to drive away the enemy. So a woman has strength and power too, as long as she uses it for the right reasons. She shouldn't be raising her voice yelling at her husband, or you raise her voice yelling at her husband's enemies. Okay? So she backs her family, right? It drives away the enemy. Right? Read.
There be two things that grieve my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and the third maketh me angry.
Come on.
A man of war that suffer poverty.
Right? A man that went at battle and then come back and they don't give them. That's how it is in America, right? You got all these people that go join the army, come back begging bread on the street. Well, that's wicked as I don't know what. You fought for this place, and this place don't give you nothing. All right, read on.
And men of understanding that are not set by.
Right? Men of understanding mean that they have all this wisdom to teach, and nobody come to class. Right? Most I don't like that. All right, read on.
And one that returneth from righteousness to sin.
Right, and somebody that backslides back into a sinful life. And a lot of times in this topic that we're dealing with tonight, marriage, a lot of us backslide when it comes to this because we make excuses to what? To quench our desire instead of holding out for what's right in the sight of the Most High. Come on.
The other one, prepare such an one for the sword.
For the sword, man. The Most High going to judge it. Read.
A merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong,
Uh-huh.
and a huckster shall not be freed from sin.
Right, so let's go to something else. But, you know, a merchant can hardly keep himself from doing wrong, meaning that when you're about that fast cash, you know what I mean, you want to do what you got to do to make money. But that's going into a whole nother topic. So at this time, it's 9:35. We're going to stick a pin in it right now. There's some other things that we wanted to go into, but time won't permit, so I didn't even start it. There's going to be a part 2 to this class. There's a lot of ground that, you know, is left to cover. Who should I marry? You know, is a very important topic because we have to fight for the marriages in Israel, right? We got to fight that we have real marriage in the sight of the Most High. Marriages that last forever, okay? We want to hear about brothers and sisters married 20, 30 years in Israel. Okay? That's what we want to hear in Israel. You know what I mean? And all this, you know, this generation of Israelites getting together, breaking up, coming together, breaking up. The Most High going to judge that matter, right? We're going to provoke the Most High to anger if we keep moving in that spirit, all right? Women going from man to man, even in the nation, that's madness, okay? That's straight madness. We're not learning marriage. But the Most High is pushing the issue because why? He's rebuilding the nation. And the core of the nation is the family. And the core of the family is the marriage. Okay? So when we get the marriage right, the family right, the nation will get right. And we'll gather ourselves together on the side of the Most High. With that being said, who we got online? Who we got on? Who's logged in with us this evening? Let's see on the check-in. You know, we got
KBG.
KBG, Shalom.
Says shalom. Truth be told.
Truth be told, Shalom. And all those online, you know, you got questions concerning marriage. You know, we're going to set them in. We're going to field them on the next part 2. You know what I mean? To who should I marry? We're going to get more in depth, you know, in choosing that right mate. Right? Read. What you got? Who else you got?
Yashawan.
Yashua, Shalom.
Eric Smith.
Eric, Shalom. That's Karash, Shalom.
Oh, that's right.
Eric Smith.
No,
that's not Karash. Sorry, that's Eric Ramsey. Sorry, right. Eric Smith is, I'm not who that is. Shalom.
Yafei Israel.
Yafei Israel, Shalom.
Daniela.
Daniela, Shalom.
Dorothy Moore.
Dorothy, Shalom.
Maya Young.
Who?
Naya Young.
Maya Young, Shalom.
Brother Courtney.
Brother Courtney, Shalom. Courtney, Shalom.
Eric Ramsey.
Eric Ramsey, Karash, Shalom.
Yeah. Bayath Kazak.
Haliyah, Shalom, Captain.
Carl Jones.
Shalom.
Kahan Israel.
Haliyah, Shalom.
And that's it.
That's it right now. All right, so I just want to conclude this Wednesday wisdom. For this Wednesday, like I said, it's going to be a part 2. We're going to go into some other scriptures concerning marriage and choosing the right mate, husbands and wives, so that we can get it right in the nation. No more hidden relationships in Israel. You know, marriages, we're going to the marriage of Joseph and Mary, you know, what was supposed to take place. We don't really understand this marriage thing, you know, and how things are supposed to be done, you know, in honor, you know, and fought with, and we all want to, you know, be blessed by getting this right. You know what I mean? By us getting right and getting with the Most High, searching the scriptures and seeing what we're supposed to be doing, so that, you know, the Most High will bless us. You know what I mean? We're blessed through our righteousness. You know, the Most High has given us wisdom that we must use it. All right? And we incline our ear to the ways of the Most High God. All right, so with all that being said, we say, Amadu, Upanya, Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem, that we can send up the Lord's Prayer, thanking the Most High for giving us the Wednesday wisdom, and, looking forward, to Thursday class for the men, from 8 o'clock on. Friday, we have history with Lapalau, right, from 7. And then on the Shabbat, Saturday, we have Shabbat service, which starts at noon. Hallelujah. All right. Go to show for. Hallelujah. Let us pray.
Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahushua, the water, the Yah, Haman.
Amen. Hallelujah. Shalom. Hakim. Akwafia. Right, until we meet again.
Great teacher. Sister Sakaya, both should have pointed their fingers at self. Great teacher. Somebody who be having like little chats in their instrument.